Welcome to With Creative Company, a podcast where we dive deep in all things business as creatives. We give our personal take on things that actually move the needle and also chat with entrepreneurs about their experiences in running a business. I'm Jordan. I'm Mayme. Let's get creative.
Hello.
Hi.
How you doing?
Good.
This is the first episode.
I know, it's really exciting.
Yeah.
I'm excited to be here doing this.
I know, me too.
Okay, so let's just, for our listeners, this is just going to be a quick intro episode that kind of explains who each of us is and what our goal is for this podcast. And we thought it'd be kind of fun to separate that out a little bit.
Get to know us a little bit, why we do what we do, and why we want to share all this information with you guys.
Yeah, so I'm going to punt this to you, make you go first.
Awesome.
Jordan, tell me a little bit about yourself.
That's great. I'm actually used to going first in a lot of things. Although being the youngest person, I was always forced to go first into everything. So
Yeah.
here we go.
It goes well for board games, though.
It does. Getting my ears pierced, all the things. All right. Anyway, I'm Jordan Smith. I run a photography and videography company with my husband, Seth, and we shoot weddings, branding, pretty much anything in that creative realm.
What's the name of your business?
Smith Creative Co. That's our business name.
Nice.
A little self-promotion would be nice. So that's what I do now, but I think my story starts a little bit further back when I found photography. And became a creative, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, I'm excited to hear this. I feel like we've never actually discussed the beginning of your business.
You're right. It was a long time ago. But yeah, I found photography at a really young age. I was 15. And I vividly remember it was like summertime. And I actually used to ride horses at the time. And at all of our horse shows, we would have photographers there, obviously capturing the shows. And I knew that was going to take a turn and kind of take me away from horses when I jumped off my horse and went straight to the photo booth and was bugging the photographer to give me a camera, it's kind of crazy because later on in life, I actually ended up shooting a couple horse shows with that same photographer. So that was really cool. But that's how I found photography, and it really became a form of art and self-expression that I think I'd never explored before for me. So I actually started taking self-portraits before I took pictures of anybody else. I was learning my camera. I was learning how to use it, how to, change the settings. And I was too embarrassed to ask anybody to get in front of the camera. So I just set it on a tripod or on the ground or on a rock, and I took pictures of myself. And I learned, I think to this day, it has always served me because I can sympathize and empathize with the clients that I have in front of my camera, and also taught me a lot about posing.
I feel like most photographers I know go through like an avid self-portrait era.
Yeah.
And it's
Rite of passage.
It's a good foundation.
Good foundation. Yeah. So that is what led to my life of photography, which was working at a photography studio when I was in high school as an intern. Taught me all about studio lighting as well as the film processes, how to process film, how to print film, just all the things. I'll be forever grateful for that. And then went on to get my photography degree in college too, which is another layer. Super duper fun, but did not teach me how to run a business. So that kind of leads into why I am doing this now and why I think I found so much value in it, is that it did take me a really, really long time to actually become a full-time photographer. It's something that I struggled with for forever. And I think looking back, I can now see that it's because of my lack of knowledge in running an actual business that kept me from doing that.
How long were you running your business before you went full-time?
I mean, I feel like it's a hard question to answer because I started shooting weddings and shooting portraits when I was in high school for money. And that led me all the way up to 2020 when I went full time in
Gotcha.
it. But it wasn't until 2020 where I actually didn't have another job, was only doing photography.
Made it official.
Made it official. So yeah, I think, like I said, looking back, I have always known how to take pictures and felt pretty confident in that. But it was charging the right amount of money, talking to the clients how I should, the business practices that really make a business instead of just someone with a camera, was what I never felt confident in. And even when I went full time, it took me a while to figure all of those out. I lost clients because of it at times.
Yeah.
I didn't see much merit in putting a lot of time and effort into a website or marketing materials or a logo or just things like that, right?
Yeah.
Because it just felt super, I was like, well, I just take pictures. That's what I do. And I'm artistic and I'm a creative and I'm, this, and that's what people should care about. But they also do care about, I think, when you're spending money on something, knowing what's going on with that, and being in communication. So that kind of leads me into this podcast and why I'll give you all the credit. You did want to start it. It was your idea. Great idea. And I'm forever thankful that you asked me to be a part of it.
Hey, I'm glad you were a part of it and that you're pulling your weight.
Yeah, I'm trying. But yeah, I think that's why I was passionate about it and wanted to do it as well, is sharing that information. You'll probably talk about this more, but kind of the lack of it in the creative world. And yeah, I think that there's room for everyone at the table, and knowledge is super important. And so many people have helped me that it's just would be an honor to help other people as well. So
Yeah.
I feel like in a nutshell, that's a little bit about me and why I want to do this. So now, kicking it back over to you.
Okay. Our stories are relatively similar, I guess. We both started our businesses in high school. I think they do vary in how. I was always really into anything creative and artistic, from writing to drawing to painting to sewing. And photography just kind of slowly grew on me from the influence of some other really important people in my life. And I would take photos all the time of myself, of other things, of my cats, of my friends. And then when I was like 15, I had two people, basically less than a month apart, force me to take senior photos and let them pay me. I didn't want to do either. And it was kind of like nope, you're going to do this. We think you should. Mm-hmm. And from there, I started like a Facebook account for my business.
Good old Facebook.
And that's what happened. And it's this, I think everyone has this story of like early on, business is just coming to you. And then suddenly one day you have to go find it. And we've talked about this before, but I feel like for a really long time in all of that, I wasn't seeing my work as valuable. Like I was really comparing it to industry professionals and people who were way better, because I was just like a high school student. Mm-hmm. And so for a really long time, I didn't value my own work, and it's just impossible for your clients to value your work when you don't. But I kept diving into it. I honestly was like really hyper fixated on photography, and everything that I listened to and watched was just about camera settings and editing and all the things. And then in high school, I had some photography adjacent jobs. And then I got an associate's degree in marketing management, which was purely because I wanted to understand business skills. Right. And none of the photography degrees I looked at were anything other than fine art.
Yeah.
And
very true.
I thought that was just not what I wanted to do. And then I moved to Nashville, and my business has just slowly grown. I feel like I guess to introduce that, which I haven't done.
Yeah. Tell us about your business.
My business is Mayme Castile. There's no photography at the end because I'm not a company. It's just me. And I like to make sure people understand that from the very start.
The get-go. Yeah.
I am a portrait and wedding photographer. I feel like I lean into a kind of, I don't want to use like a bunch of hot keywords.
Use them.
I lean into like a documentary style of
Yeah,
image.
she does.
And it's taken me a long time to get my work to somewhere I enjoy it, but right now, like I really enjoy the photos that I take, and I feel like I do deliver a valuable service to my clients, which has been really fun.
When do you feel like you realized your work was valuable?
Ooh, I don't know. I think my husband has had a lot to do with that because he's constantly in my ear saying that.
That's great.
He's a big hype man, so I feel like that's helped me a lot in my business. From everything, like when we were dating, and he saw my pricing, and he was like, "Are you serious?"
Raise your prices.
Yeah, so I've really enjoyed, though, over the years, learning how to run a business, which is why I had this idea, because I feel like in all the education that I've watched on photography, there's a huge lapse to where all of it's creative and technical, and everything about my business, I had to just learn by myself and through my own experiences, and that takes a long time. Mm-hmm. And so I thought it might be fun to kind of open those curtains a little bit from experienced business owners who are still learning as we go, but have some years under our belts, and share that maybe with people who need it or who are interested in starting a creative business of any kind. I know we're both photographers, but this is definitely just for creatives across the board.
Yeah.
And yeah, that's kind of
That's awesome.
where I'm at now.
Yeah, because at the bones of it, I think running a business, there are certain things that are true throughout, no matter what you're selling.
Yes.
Whether it be photography packages or tables, I don't know, whatever.
Yeah, especially a business where you are the entrepreneur and the head of that. Like you are the visionary, you're the person doing the art, doing the work, and also having to sell and market yourself and manage your customer expectations. That's a hard place to be, but it's very similar across the board.
Yeah.
And I also hope that as we continue this and we interview other people, we won't just be interviewing photographers and artists, but we'll also be interviewing people who support the people like us and help our businesses
Absolutely
function and thrive. Yeah, that's about all I have to say about myself. What about you?
No, that's amazing. I feel like I learned some stuff about you that I didn't know, and that's exciting.
Yeah. So then I do have a question for you. This is a pre-planned question.
Pre-planned.
If you could tell other creatives one thing, what would it be? And why?
That's great. Great question.
You should know.
I think for today, because it could change in other future episodes, who knows? But for today, I'm going to say to other creatives, just start the business. Start messy. If you wait till everything is perfect, you're going to be waiting forever. I think the biggest lessons I've learned are from mistakes sometimes. And you just have to start your business. So that would be my Nike, just do it. You know what I mean?
No, I think that's a great place to start. And I feel like all of it. I feel like anyone's going to learn more from their mistakes than from what we did right. So that makes total sense. Yeah.
All right. So right back at you. If you could tell other creatives one thing, what would it be?
I did not think about this enough beforehand. I'll ditto what you said that this could change. I think for now, it would be that people are hiring you for the value of your work, not your personal value. I think there's this huge movement right now, especially with social media, that you have to be the coolest person or the most perfect person.
Yeah.
And sometimes work becomes second to that. And I think it's actually the opposite. And that's what I've learned over the years is I'm a person, I'm always going to be flawed, and I'm never going to be like an Instagram model. But I do still take good photos, and I do good work for my clients, and that's what they appreciate way more.
That's a whole nother podcast we have to do.
We could.
That's great.
Cool.
Great thing. Well, thank you for joining us.
Yeah, thank you for joining this little intro episode.
We're excited for what's to come. Yeah.
Yeah, really pumped.
All right. See you next time.
Bye.